Hello, boys and girls, and welcome back to the TI8 Qualifiers. That's right, more Dota 2 coming your way as we move into the playoffs of the China region. Trent and I are going to do some coverage. Lyrical and GoDz going to be doing some coverage. Hopefully, if GoDz shows up right now, we've got Capitalist standing in.
I'm the other white dude.
Hey.
Nice. Nice.
Thanks,
Very
buddy.
good. So, wow, what a day it's been, I guess. Not so much Dota over the last 8 hours.
While we slept on the China shift,
Yep.
they grinded away on entertaining the masses.
Wow.
Through various games.
Various games.
Great.
Most of which I won.
You're a champion.
Ah, it's ground.
Champion amongst
You've been
Except for
corrected by a
Melee, where I
European.
got destroyed.
I
by
don't
bullets.
think that's how it works.
Sin, you want to sit down instead of me? Please. Cinderin.
You could get on his lap.
Cinderin, please.
I tried to get Sind in for an interview yesterday, and he snubbed me. It was really harsh.
An interview.
Well, just to sit on the couch.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in bed. Sin's up too late. He's not
Go
going to be
to
very fresh
sleep.
tomorrow.
If he doesn't get his, doesn't get his 9 hours, he's gonna be.
He'll be cranky.
That was very good.
So China, first
China,
match
we're
tonight.
back.
What do we
China.
got? It's FTD versus, we're actually in the lobby already, FTD versus IG for our first BO3.
So IG did not impress
No.
in their final game over us.
Should we look at,
that
can we look
was
at the group
Bloodseeker.
standings?
That
Do
was
we-
the aggressive Bloodseeker.
Do we have updated group standings? We see who made the cut, who didn't, because
I
it went to
don't
tiebreakers
Yeah,
yesterday.
there were
And
tiebreakers in
we
the
actually
evening.
didn't cover those here on the BTS stream. And spoiler alert, Keen Gaming did not make the cut. They were fifth place. They lost in that tiebreaker. It was a three-way tie for the last 2 slots. And there you go, Team Serenity at the top, FTD in second, and then IG and LFY. There's that tiebreaker, and they won in that next set of BO1. What is it? I guess just 2 games were played, huh?
Yeah,
Did
just like some tiebreakers.
did IG play versus LFY in that best of one?
In
Or
the
did they just
tiebreaker?
Did they both just beat Keen and that was it?
I believe they did. LFY beat IG
yeah.
and Keen.
Oh, okay.
And IG just had to beat Keen.
It's weird. LFY is like sporadically really good, but then they occasionally just like lose to teams that I feel like they shouldn't, like IGV in like the first round of games they played against each other.
Yeah.
But man, let me tell you, if I ever see IG pick Bloodseeker again, I am not picking them to win. It was
Hot
Very
garbage?
strange.
It was unbelievable.
I mean, here's the thing, Gabe, is that you chose a Chinese team with a relatively new hero. And that's just when it comes to new heroes in the meta, China is not the region to be trusted.
But Cap, they
Broodmother?
play random
No.
draft. Why
Bloodseeker?
shouldn't
No.
they know these heroes that are out of the meta?
I
mean,
honestly don't know.
You would think that
they
they
didn't
would
play
be
Wisp for like 3 years. They're playing
true.
Diffusal, Broodmother.
I
Apparently
mean-
their Bloodseeker is bad, according to Gabe.
Even if that is so, that game that we saw was particularly jaw-dropping. I mean, he had like 3 assists in 40 minutes or something. Was it 6 assists? I mean, it was
And
it
1
was
kill.
stunning. It was just
weird.
straight
And
up farming, and he went
He
like
went blade mail farming creeps.
yeah, it was odd. But hey, we've got a draft here, boys and
Oh,
girls.
snap.
FTD, IG. Oh, I thought that's
We
what
got
we
us.
It's
Okay,
coming.
sorry.
It'll be there.
Well,
It'll be right here.
the draft will be
Don't
coming.
go anywhere. Please, don't leave. You've suffered through so much today.
We
We're
haven't
just
had
getting
Dota
to the
in
Dota.
so
Oh,
long.
Hey, guys.
there he is.
Are you
Look at
feeling
that.
better?
Yeah, he's all right. Okay,
He's coming
good.
back in.
All right, everyone just close your eyes for like 10 seconds. All right? Are you hopping in, GoDz?
Okay.
Everyone just close your eyes. Close your eyes for 10 seconds.
All right, watch some dots.
Okay.
And-
Oh. All right. Oh man. It looked like okay.
Don't open them yet.
Grant and Cinderin.
Keep them
close. Keep them close.
Now, you were supposed to say it into one of the mics. That was the play there, but he's gone.
All right. And welcome back, David Parker, to the panel.
Hello.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah.
Oh,
9 o'clock, right on time, right?
yeah, exactly.
To be clear, we've turned on the delay, yes?
Yes, we have. I double-checked,
Okay,
stamped
okay.
it. The delay
Just
is on.
making sure.
Done and
We're
dusted.
good.
Delay is on, for sure.
Trent, it's yes. No, I 100%. I talked to production before
Okay.
we went on.
Thanks, production. You guys
I'm
are the
positive
best.
production's on it. They were
Alright.
thinking, and they're
course.
still thinking. We didn't update our jerseys though. We've got Zephyr and Archon behind us to celebrate this great Chinese Dota.
Should
So
I
just want to bring
maybe
attention
we'll
to
get
that.
some after this draft.
Those are both very vintage shirts though.
To be fair, although they're not, necessarily teams from China, Archon, of course, some of their biggest moments where they travel to China for a LAN, if I recall correctly.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I think so. At
And
least we're
Zephyr-
gonna go with that. And Zephyr went to.
They were
Korea
really close
and-
to China.
Yeah, we'll just call that close enough for the case. I mean, considering how many jerseys we don't have a lot to work with here, so
We literally had the 2 China jerseys the last 2 days, though.
That's true.
We had LGD and Newbie.
Yeah, we gotta mix it up though. We're done with those.
We messed up there a bit.
That's fine.
All right. So, GoDz, did you catch any of the games yesterday, or were you?
Yeah, I was dozing in and out of fever dreams. It was great.
Okay.
Oh God.
Cool.
I saw some tiebreakers. It was good.
In case you were wondering,
so that's
that
the one thing we didn't
Bloodseeker,
see.
that IG Bloodseeker game was not actually a fever dream. That was real. So you might have thought you were having an illusion, hallucination or something. But.
So, yeah, based on the matches we saw yesterday, it seems like FTD has been a lot stronger, maybe just a bit more consistent. Their group stage felt a little bit less bumpy, and I guess that's always the case when you're not fighting tiebreakers like IG was. First pick Naga Siren, going to lead into the old classic, Sand King Leshrac for FTD.
That's what they've been running, man. Everybody's been running this, it feels like. And again, with this opening, it does definitely feel like that flesh pick. I did this yesterday. Flex pick. I did it yesterday, too.
Flesh.
When it's
He's
like,
very fleshy. Look at all those
He
muscles
is.
he's got on there, man.
But when it's IGV, you just you know that they're going to run it mid every time. And this one, you get the side lane going, you get kills.
Yeah. Now this one certainly not as assumed to be mid, as you're saying. So, do we get a Naga friend?
That's normally what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Jakiro or Disruptor. I think Jakiro's become the preferred option. Or Mirana, but that's banned out.
I think when you have the pressure lane, the Sand King and the Leshrac too, you're really... I don't necessarily think you want Disruptor unless you pick a very strong carry that doesn't need much help.
But instead, they get a Venomancer.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting. Veno, of course, he's been a counter to Night Stalker largely, and then other cases he's basically just like a Matu hero for when you just want to give somebody a hero to don't die too much.
This feels like the superhero.
Yeah.
He's got sort of an odd power curve. You want to play really greedy with him early on, get a couple tanky items, and then that mid game, it just feels like he does an overwhelming amount of damage. But it's a finite resource. Eventually, he starts to fall off a little bit if you give him all that farm priority. But it could work. I think with the Naga Siren, definitely some good setup. I'm curious how they'll lane this Veno, though. If this is mid, safe lane, it's not something we've seen much in the group stage.
Yeah, it gives them some flexibility too. It can be mid or safe lane, so they don't have to worry about it right now.
True.
Just kind of work our way through.
I mean, I think theoretically it could even be offlane.
Yeah.
Put that with the Naga offlane. That sounds pretty potent. I'm not sold on the mid Veno, but I think either of these side lanes can work well.
Not sold on the mid Veno.
Yeah, it depends. You need a good matchup. I don't think you can plan Veno to go mid until you see what the matchup's going to be.
Yeah, that's true. You don't want that like Mirana or someone who's just outranges your wards and gets free gold.
Yeah,
that'd be really rough.
Yeah, that goes pretty bad.
DP and PL going to be banned out next.
Yeah, they're banning out at least one mid hero. Not really targeting any of the Naga +1 heroes just because they're all still in, so,
What is the third match we have tonight? It's a double elim bracket.
Winners.
It's upper, so
Yeah, it's upper.
a team at the end of tonight will be going to TI, right? Because winner of that uppers is a qualified.
Yeah, in about 6 hours.
That's awesome.
After our two
So,
best of threes, you would think.
That's exciting. Wow. How tantalizing.
Because we got 2 slots. That's why they put us here, because it's the best region.
Yes.
No one else got more than 2, right?
Well, China is actually the prime time. 9 p.m. A few people have said, hey, man, I get off work. You guys are what's on. I've been watching China.
Yeah, but I guess that's true, I suppose, for those. But,
It's
everyone's
not
been
great
very
for the
excited.
European fans, but for North Americans, it's fabulous.
And I mean, the other thing that's nice about it is that previously a lot of people would just be covering the Southeast Asian games because those are the ones that I think people gravitate towards more. But now, since it's split up, you get the chance to see these Chinese teams that you wouldn't have otherwise known about.
And I feel like not to jinx us or anything, but the firewall's been pretty nice in terms of Dota.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
compared
actually haven't
to-
even noticed.
Compared to past years, I have some pretty horrid memories of casting slideshows for hours on end.
I think it's been improved, I think, because I don't think any of the China games have had issues for a while.
Clearly, they stole some infrastructure from the South American region, and that's what's happened here. That's the problem.
You need to get back to South America.
Good. Yeah.
They banned the Bloodseeker before the Dream do.
Wow. IG's welcome.
But we'll see. We got ourselves a Rubik taken as well as the
I don't need it. You need it.
the console.
Yeah, we got to do the fun buttons here.
Oh, right, of course.
There you go.
Got some ghetto Dota
So,
TV
guys,
workaround.
first day driving. I was blessed to be on the couch first 2 days. So
True. Welcome, Dota TV. You're all good.
I think we're good.
You might need to reconnect if you want to listen in Dota TV. Sometimes there's a little buggy thing like that. But
Yeah, not you, other people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
Well, we're ready to go now. So Rubik, pretty good Rubik game, huh? Classic to the Veno. You can use the null field to counteract some of his poison damage, plus stealing Veno's spells usually feel pretty good. Plague Wards, not quite as much, but the Gale,
No,
the
Plague
ultimate.
Wards
I
are
like
great,
the
dude.
Plague Wards.
Plague Wards are good when you're not fighting.
Sure, they're great little farming
Yeah,
tools.
no, you throw them around for some
But
wards
they don't
too.
get poison sting, right? Isn't that the whole thing?
They
I feel like they do.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. Thanks for educating me, friends.
Problem.
It's one of those spells that you never feel bad about getting. It's like a great scouting tool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's very pesky for any blink initiators, which right now IG don't really have. It's going to make Sand King's life pretty hard this game.
Do you remember, was it the original King's Cup where Jack kept talking about the bog?
Yeah.
Because this is the bog, dude. Venomancer and Undying.
Oh,
this
man.
is the bog Dota. You know, you get into this fight, you're not getting out of this fight until one side has won or lost. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna finish.
If you're FTD, you got to just stand your ground and fight. There's
Yeah.
no running. Yeah.
Well, and see, to me, Zyori, this speaks to one of the problems that you talked about yesterday, which was Undying falling off. And I feel like you can sometimes play a little bit fast with Invictus Gaming's draft, but I'd be a little bit worried about it going late game. And to me, when I think about Veno, I think sometimes it's good for like pushing with the wards and stuff, but also the way that they played, they've tended to want to play more defensively. And I'm worried if that's what they try and do in this game, and then Undying falls off.
I'm with that, especially given that we've seen pretty much every strat that feels like it's on a timer has not really worked out that well. And whoever has the better late game tends to shine, outside of just mistakes that we've seen that have shifted those big late games.
I'm curious what the cores are gonna look like in terms of like Naga friends, right? You have a support with Naga that's not really a traditional support. I mean, it kind of works. Obviously, you can get a good tomb set up, you know, prepped in a solid spot for the engagement, but just
If that's your
not that
plan,
common.
like
yeah, exactly.
you get like
you
4
know,
zombies on him, and that's the strat.
yeah.
Well, this looks like a great Brewmaster pick, though. No traditional counters to the Brew on the table, at least not quite yet. No silences, no real hard stuns, so it should be pretty easy for him to get the split off. And I like the way he matches up against the momentum of Veno Undying. You know, just good at taking those mid-game fights.
Yeah, surprisingly little lockdown on the IG side, and normally you look for that out of like your support duo, at least have one disable, and
Yeah.
they're gonna have to look elsewhere for
It's
that.
looking like a 10th pick like Storm kind of game situation if
Yeah.
IG aren't careful. So they shore it up a little bit there with the Dragonite pick. Solid disable.
It's another bog hero. You want
Yeah.
a 5-man. This is kind of perfect. It gives you a bit extra tower push. I feel like the Venom wards, they're kind of good for securing a push. You set them all up, no one wants to fight into them, but it actually doesn't push that fast. So you do want to have a bit more tower push to go with that.
Definitely a nice addition. And somebody else who's kind of beefy that doesn't mind tangoing with the Brewmaster early on.
They clearly had problems getting objectives yesterday, too, even when they had a pretty big lead from the side of IG. So maybe just looking back on those games, already much more objective-focused. Like, if they want to set up in an area and actually try and push a tower, it looks a lot better now.
They've definitely got that potential, but I still worry about actually executing it. It seems like even just pushing tier 2s sometimes in these longer games that have that mid-game stalemate feeling, that Dragonite isn't enough to break it up. It depends on the item build as well, but Tide Hunter now, 6th ban for FTD.
Speaks to the general theme here for sure.
Limited lockdown.
So they're thinking this is going to be a position 1 Veno then.
Yeah, I think position 1 Veno looks okay this game. The Veno Naga lane very strong. It's a hero that can match up alright against the Brewmaster. Does limit your scaling with Veno DK as your 1-2, but
Yeah.
I think FTD scaling doesn't look any better right now. Neither team actually has like that amazing late game carry.
They go back for the bat. So
Huh.
instead of going for, like, I guess Underlord would be someone who'd be
Yeah,
kind of similar to the Tide Hunter, but he doesn't have a stun, right? So that doesn't give you any more answers towards the Brewmaster. So this way you get some pick-off potential, and you already have such good objective taking and generally good sustain and everything that I don't think you needed like that Aura Builder Underlord necessarily.
They could aggro try the Naga Veno Undying and try to get that Bat Rider Brewmaster matchup in the safe lane.
Probably something they'd look for. There's also, I almost feel like this is like a Jug kind of game for the Dream, you know? But,
Jug or Life is Life still banned?
They
Oh, they
just
banned
banned
that.
him,
Yeah.
yeah.
You want that kind of Magic Moon hero against the Bat Rider. It could be a Weaver game. I think with the Beetles, he lanes very well against the Bat Rider, and I think before the DK pick, none of those 3 heroes had disable, so it looked pretty good for Weaver.
Could be a Slark game. No.
Oh, it will be the
Ah,
10th
it's
pick
a
Storm.
Storm.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow,
so-
good call, Trent. Huh. Well, it feels a little better against the Storm now. They've at least got DK and Bat Rider, but not great still.
We're looking at for FTD, they want this game to go long. They have no building push. They're purely looking at Storm getting like 3 or 4 big items and just being unkillable. Like once he gets his Lincolns up, like he's not going to go at first, but that's kind of the item timing for Storm where he suddenly becomes very difficult to deal with. But they will not play like a very strong early game push strat by any means.
Man, how do you kill someone during lasso?
That's a good question.
Well, also with the Storm
Wait
player,
a second.
They actually have like no burst damage.
I think I'm probably looking for the dream here. I don't know. I feel like IG, like you said, kind of people are in last. So the one downside is that I also don't really know who Storm kills in this game, but yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna fix some settings here. Sorry, folks.
Oh, okay.
I
I can help you out here.
Oh,
If
we're
you need to
pretty
do it.
good.
Oh, you're good now.
I don't have the auto camera on, but that's okay.
You can manage.
I think so. I think so. I'm with Lyrical. I like this FTD draft a lot more. Just feels very conventional and feels like a good game for the Storm Spirit.
Our boys are stepping off, I believe. Is that what you're saying? It's up to you
You,
guys. You're welcome to stay.
It's playoffs times. We'll,
You wanna
we'll
do,
give you guys your
some
little moment
duos?
for now. You guys,
We're having a moment now.
All right,
that's,
great.
That's what it sounds
Oh,
like.
gosh.
enjoy.
The
Have
pressure.
fun.
All right. Let's be more relaxed, Steve. That means we have to be serious now.
Yeah.
Because you know our casts are always super serious the entire time.
If there's one thing that we're known for at Moonduck is always being serious. Serious face engage here. The minimap icons, big and small. I wish I knew how to change that because I don't like it when they get tiny. I got old man eyes, Trent. When they get tiny, I can't see who's who. I like the big ones.
It's all right, buddy.
Oh,
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, great.
I'll give you the training wheels camera. I'll start yelling at you when people are dying.
Great.
You know, is that the kind of life that you need right now?
No, we'll try it for game number 1, and then I'll have production come and change out the auto exec file. I think that sounds like
You're gonna get all
fair
whiny.
compromise.
I'll cry. Production, save me.
Production, we're gonna need 2 black coffees to the casting station pronto. Both
Not
for
really,
TrentPax.
no.
No, but not really. No, we're good. I've got monsters.
They're so nice. I'm worried that they're gonna start doing things for us.
All right, so in general, though, I still think the FTD draft feels pretty nice. Looking at the lanes, do we have any switcheroos? Looks like Sand King will be headed down bottom to match up with the Leshrac. Storm Spirit will be going mid, and then up top, that means it'll be Rubik Brewmaster. Nothing too surprising there.
Yeah, you have these questions like the first thing that needs to happen this game is the matchup for the Bat Rider comes into question. It's just like, how's the situation going to be? Is he going to get that matchup that he wants? And this looks okay, like dueled up with a Naga here. Sure, you don't get the experience quite as fast, but obviously quite a bit of threat. You know, you can't come as close with like the 3 sticking napalms if you can threaten with a net or something at level 2. So
That's a pretty decent lane.
the power of this Sand King Leshrac that we see so often is like they love to harass and they like to like impose the threat themselves, but you can't actually do that if there's this napalm just flying out all the time.
Yeah, definitely a situation where sticks can be a game changer. Leshrac.
Yep.
Starting with 1, so that's quite nice. Naga, the standard triple mango, stout shield, very hard to harass out. Does take a stun, but just doesn't hurt. 7 armor as well on the Naga. Perfect in these kind of situations. Checking in on the other lanes, how's mid? Storm DK, kind of a snoozer here. DK dominating early, no big surprise. Storm undoubtedly will be relying on the jungle, some stacks.
Yeah, and then his job just gets way easier with levels for the Storm Spirit. Like, no real issues at all. Very happy if you're FTD to get this kind of a matchup. Especially these days where there's just, like, so few rotations to the mid lane. Storm Spirit has really come back with the changes to bottle being better now. And then just no one really partying with you mid.
Q being very aggressive on the Undying. But Brewmaster handling it just fine. 2 and 3, not the ideal creep score, but getting some experience and most importantly, not really letting the Venomancer free farm either. Safe lane Veno. Very interesting. I guess it's a good sign to see IG maybe switch things up after a rocky group stage in this qualifier, but it's a strat that always makes me nervous. You know, I get similar butterflies in my stomach to like when I see a position 1 Venge. I'm like, this can definitely work, but just I hope you know what you're signing up for, boys, because this is not necessarily easy to execute.
Yeah, it's like they just, I don't know, I guess they're looking at those last games and just wondering, you know, we definitely could have done it. You know, clearly we made some mistakes, but we had a really good laning stage. We were ahead by a lot. So if we make a draft even more suited for this early game, can we actually finish? So this would be a very big game for them moving forward if they can just kind of get this whole strategy worked out and feel strong about it. But Bobica looking for a courier snipe here in the mid lane. It is on its way, but it's going to be flying at that point. He has the net, so don't think he'll be able to get enough right clicks in, though, because he's only at 48 damage, so he already starts running away.
This is pretty tight.
Yeah, he knows it'll be too late.
Well, noble effort, but a little bit of a bummer there. So back to the mid. Still DK all day. Both level 4, but sizable advantage.
Damn.
And Raji will just TP back. Gets caught in the trees.
This whole lacking of stuns, once again.
Yep.
Not really something for you to worry about. You know, just TPing out all the time. Easy peasy.
Also a recurring theme here. Undying, he's been able to put on a lot of pressure, but still hasn't really stopped the Brewmaster from getting some farm, though as I say that, Venomous Gale does connect. It's level 2 Poison Sting, so their right clicks are actually pretty dirty here. Another Decay coming up. There is a Soul Rip as well. Brewmaster might be able to still survive this stick.
Oh,
now
nice.
Raji with the Telekinesis pulls him back, and Q takes a lot of tower shots.
Yeah, bottom lane, nothing too exciting happening. Just the supports kind of trading back and forth and forcing each other back. In fact, James even misses Burrow Strike and gets tipped by Bobica.
Very nice.
Yeah, deserved. Help the guy out.
Ooh, Lesh clips the Bat Rider with a stun. Not much follow-up, but
Yeah, Bat's
still doing all right here.
not really finding that pressure though. Like he had the boots and the windlace, but still can't find anything on this Leshrac because even with just boots, he's at 385. So
It's tough.
difficult to
Those
close.
Early points in Lightning, and yeah, it's kind of both teams with a bully lane down there. It ends up being this stalemate. Keeping with the trend of late first blood as well, Trent rolling into 5 minutes here for Bounty Runes and still no kills.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit ridiculous at this point, honestly.
The
These
2-1-2
Chinese
is in full effect, you know?
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, we don't see many
Look
rotations.
at this play by SRF down bottom on the Bat Rider. He's going to go in for the neutrals. The full stack there, the Napalm. James, he wants his Burrow Strike stealing all this gold.
Oh, he's going to connect on 2, set up for the Lesh, and they're going to regret this. There's 1 kill for the Lesh as the first blood is drawn. Baboka gets the rune and sets up the double for the Leshrac. FTD come out big. Now, they do lose their Rubik on the other side.
Oh, I love this already. The tips go right back, though.
Yep.
But I mean, that's a bold play. If it worked out, it would have been extremely good for them, obviously, but that is really going to help out the Sand King and the Leshrac.
I mean, setting up for the double Burrow Strike there, not ideal. Like you said, they get punished.
Sand King is rich. He just picks up his boots, has another 340 gold.
So up top, Rubik died, though. What was the actual bounty spread? Looks like Radiant did get slightly better. They got 3 out of the 4.
Bobica got the 1 bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to snag one of them.
Mid lane, looks like a rotation onto the DK. Gets pulled back up to the high ground, but now healed up as the Storm Spirit gets turned on. And
Oh, he just hit
Snare
6.
right clicks. Is he going to be able to zip out of this? They might have the damage through the Dragon Tail. And it's there. Storm Spirit falls first. DK on 2. FTD have to make it back. But all the while in the bottom lane, Lesh dies solo to the level 5 Bat Rider.
We got the Tranquils up. Able to close that gap. Very nice. That is a huge kill for him to actually get back into this, and that'll put him towards the lasso. He hasn't skilled it yet, maybe thinking that there might be an opportunity to actually use it, but theoretically, if you want to just stay in the lane a little bit longer, you might just want to go in towards like these Napalms or the Firefly points.
Yeah, it's not bad. Bat Rider is definitely one of those heroes. It feels like you just want to level up everything. And if you're not going to be using that ultimate, up top we'll see Aggressive now initiated on. Raji TP's back in with Beyond. Nice use of the healing salve. It'll keep Aggressive alive. Raji actually taking some decent return damage from those pesky Plague Wards. Veno now level 5. Going for kind of a hybrid build here, but 2 points in the Plague Wards.
Yeah, not much discussion about him, but he got himself his 1 kill. And Aggressive, of course, a hardcore farmer, it would seem, in a lot of the games we've had so far. So
Oh, yeah.
needs to push it a little bit in this one. And I'm curious what these builds are all going to end up being, though. Like, for SRF on the Bat Rider, will he go for the Blink first? Like, Drum's obviously a lot of value when we're playing with this 5-man, but will we get that from the Dragonite instead? And then he's just going to really try and enable these quick pickoffs into early aggression onto towers. It's a lot of pressure when you go for the Blink first to actually, obviously, execute every single time and not just keep farming.
No doubt. High risk, high reward. Lasso ready to go, close to level 7. Now another TP rotation from FTD. It's the Rubik. Joining James. Oh, Burrow Strike starts things off. He does have 1 charge left on that infused raindrop, but keeps him pretty topped off. DK also joining the fray. Nice flame break, but Brewmaster also makes the TP. He does have a split. Needs to be a little careful here. It's only a level 3 Naga Siren, but James,
so
Burrow
low.
Strike available. Getting low, but still might be able to set this up. There's the Brew split. Boulder connects onto the Naga. Cyclone on the other side. Isolates the DK as the tombstone comes down, but easy right clicks. Raji falls now. A lot of low HP heroes on the Radiant. Brewmaster's coming back into Panda form, and the DK is going to turn, drop the stun. They don't have the damage. It looks good for the Radiant as now Storm comes zipping on in. SRF clipped by the Burrow Strike. He gets brought down by right clicks as Storm finds 1 more. Nowhere to go. Double damage rune makes it easy, and FTD make out big.
Excellent plays by the Brewmaster there. Humongous props heading out to Mr. Beyond. He had 6 HP left when he got the split off.
That's pretty tight.
And then he stays in with the Earth Panda after, just knowing he built up his stick. Gets that off.
Yep.
And they finish the kill.
A lot of confidence there. Clearly an experienced Brew player, knowing his limits quite well. Raji getting dove up top as Baboka trying to find him in the trees. Might just set this up for Storm. Still has a little bit left on that double damage. Just now expires. Nowhere for Baboka to go, and it's actually the Lesh that comes in, and we'll finish him off with a level 4 Lightning Storm.
Oh, not looking too hot there for the old IG squad. You know, maybe hoping to start taking over. I think they haven't quite hit the levels that they want or any of the items, right? Like, they don't have a single aura item going or anything like that.
Yep.
Veno's not joining in. They're not like coming down and tombstoning / ulting the tower. They are starting to create the pressure here, though. It looks like they're just going to try and like fully complete the tower down bottom.
Yeah.
Question is, can you really respond from the Radiant side? Like, without the split, they obviously don't want to fight. So it should be a freebie.
DK with a Blink Dagger queued up, looking for an initiation tool. SRF. Still pretty far from his blink. Scouts out the Brewmaster walking by. His ult actually not that far from coming up, and Beyond way ahead in terms of Blink Dagger progression, and now going to make it even better. Picks up the Bounty Rune. Actually could have just gone north to get the IG Rune, but of course doesn't realize it without vision. Gets caught by a lasso.
He's so close to split.
He might still survive here. 8 seconds if only he had the Shrine, but Bat Rider will be able to finish him off as that bottom tier 1 also gets turned to rubble. So some wins for IG. They reclaim that net worth advantage.
Well, you know, sometimes you have a great play in a team fight, and sometimes you get way too greedy, going for a Bounty Rune in behind a team that's clearly sieging your tier 1 with no chance of you fighting.
That's why it's like they're showing a few on the map. I thought maybe he'd just go north and roll the dice there, but instead he hung around and they just rotated up. It was definitely a little peculiar.
I mean, you can understand why you make that play, though. Definitely makes sense. You're not expecting like the bat to be there. I think he would have thought the bat was like lurking near, like behind the tower or something. Probably.
Yeah, it is true. You look at the dire wards, and they do have a nice one here. Might have clipped vision of him walking by, but it was a cool spot for the bat to be hiding in this little tree nook. Yeah. Certainly atypical.
All right, well, using this time, like, yes, you lose your bot tower, but Storm Spirit's just been farming away. They don't have any sort of vision inside that classic little neutral area where the pings are now coming out from Naga saying, yo, we need to kind of go there, because he farms a lot.
He's farming
looks
well.
Like they're going to smoke here, possibly.
Level 9. You can usually tell how a Storm Spirit is feeling based on what items he's forced into. You know, if you see a Storm Spirit buying Yule's Scepter first item, you know, he's probably not living the dream. Going Treads into Kaya, you're probably feeling pretty good, right? Yeah. That means you're farming up, you're going for damage, and you're thinking you're going to be able to kill people and get some extra stats before you stop off for that Orchid.
This is a very difficult smoke. You're going the whole way across an area that you've like lost control over, but with
they're
the
still going to find it. Brewmaster debuts that initiation piece. They've got the follow-up stuns, and SRF will get brought down. 1 click from that sword of the angry panda. Great use of the Blink Dagger. Exactly how you want to do it. All the while up top, Lesh was getting initiated on, still trying to farm towards that Yule Scepter, but he did TP out to safety. Once again, as we've noted, not many ways for them to stop those TPs. How's Venomancer looking? He's like farming middle of the pack. Haven't really felt the impact from aggressive. He did get 1 kill already, but finally now pressuring the tower.
He's obviously very hard to gank down here, so that's one thing he's got going for him. But he hasn't really gotten too much pressure. Now we're getting into, we have the song from Boca, so this is like time to play Dota, you know? I feel like they have the tools that should make it very difficult for FTD to actually win this fight without Beyond pulling out big plays again. Boca way ahead here. kind of scouting with the hero and the illusions, trying to make it look like it might not necessarily be him.
Yeah. Tower ends up going down, though.
Storm Spirit. Batrider's going to find him here. This would be a hell of a grab, but just not quite in time. Naga maybe just playing a bit too aggro. And still, I mean, they don't have, again, that much burst to go through the lasso, or they don't have a lot of follow-up either. Like, it has to be the Dragonite there. If the net comes in, maybe it's going to be enough, but you just need, like, the stun and the damage from the DK to assist.
I was just looking at the wards here for Raji. Great farming tool like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Confirmed they get Poison Sting.
With BSJ in the house, you could now send this Rubik to the dead lane with the Plague Wards, I believe, is the strat.
He needs it, though. Lowest on net worth in the game, actually, not even just on the team. Sand King's been soaking up a lot of that farm in the jungle. And it's paying off. He's getting very close to the Blink Dagger. Just about 500 gold away, but yeah, there's the jump, and they find the kill. Batrider again. Epicenter makes it an easy one.
Still not into that Blink. Oof. And the Dragonite, actually, I do like that he didn't go Blink first on the DK. He went for the Hood instead, so still just means there's, like, no drums, and you're this Batrider and just like, man, I've just been farming this whole time. I kind of wish I just bought some drums or something.
Right. Another double damage on the Storm. There's the Glyph, and now some rotations coming from IG, so they will try to mount a defense. DK has his ultimate coming up in about 10.
Just a difficult time to push in here for FTG. Like, they need that kind of YOLO initiation from the Brewmaster. He's the one who says to dive and go in, but he's fighting into all these Plague Boards, so he's assumingly going to be scouted. Speaking of scouted, the Rubik Plague Board on the high ground.
They went double Hood, actually. Aggressive has picked up one as well. There's that Brew split straight onto the Venomancer. Follow-up from the Lash. Song of the Siren breaks up the fight.
They can isolate the Panda.
Now the Storm jumps in, tries to get in position,
He
but he might
stole
just get
Song!
killed. Stolen Song, there it is. Venomancer off to the side, still drops the ult, and I think FTD just retreat.
Oh my god.
The Brewmaster will get left behind, maybe can still go for the TP. Not going to try it, instead will be the Sacrificial Lamb, the only one brought down by IG. Big plays from Raji on the Rubik.
That is the, you get one. Stun down onto Naga as they try and keep chasing here.
James with a nice disjoint. We'll have a stun up in another second here, but Lasso, it connects, and now this Sand King is in big trouble. They don't bring him down fast enough. He does get a Burrow Strike over the tree line, but Plague Wards scout him out, and they do find another one. So 2 kills now going the way of IG.
Man.
Sign of life.
That's the one time Song will get stolen this game. I would be shocked if it happened again.
Pretty rare steal.
Yeah, like obviously you have plenty of spells to throw out.
Storm going for a Bloodstone now, so no Orchid. Gearing up for a potentially longer game. Not terribly surprised.
With this next DK ulti, I mean, mid is a great option. Venomancer isn't even brought in, but they still have level 4 Tombstone, so this should not be a problem. There isn't a Song, but although they have a heavy cooldown lineup with like DK ulti and Tombstone and Naga Song, they don't necessarily have to pop them all at once. Like right now, they're fighting without Song, but it's okay because they're still just holding this Tombstone in their hand. Venomancer's not even nearby, and then they're going to try and link up with the Venomancer down bottom, and they can just push that tier 2 as well. Like, they want to force an engagement out of Beyond.
Well, they go 1 for 1, like you mentioned. Raji able to steal Breathe Fire there. Heading back is now IG. Look like they want to rotate bottom, pressure this tier 2, and maybe force a fight.
They have a lot of advantage here. Like, they have a haste rune up on the Batrider in his bottle. He has Lasso up in 10 seconds. Absolutely zero chance they can fight, and they just don't have the counter push speed. At the very least, they had a catapult up top, which is helping.
But I really like the way the Dire have itemized here. They've got double Hood. And now with the Blink Dagger, they've got some pretty good initiation and a BKB coming on the Venomancer. Even just that value Buckler on the Undying to give the whole team a little bit more armor. They're ready to deal with this. They want to fight early, and it kind of feels like that Lesh Sand King combo that normally does so much damage just kind of tickles given how much survivability they have. You've got a maxed out Soul Rip on top of oh, never mind. It's a maxed out Tombstone, a level 1 Soul Rip on top of that.
Yeah. No, it's very nice. For the way they're playing, I think you definitely want the max Tombstone.
Yeah, that makes sense. I thought I just saw him put a few more points in the Soul Rip early, but I guess it was the Tombstone. DK, now with the Blink Dagger, he'll go for BKB next, so even furthering this motif of itemizing for survivability.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question the Radiant, they have no, like, true carry hero. That's
Yeah.
not this like traditional hardcore right clicker. Not that IG necessarily do either to Venomancer, but he still provides more physical damage than a Leshrac
And I
does.
think you can itemize DK to feel a little more like a right clicker as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But same can be said for the Brewmaster. I mean, level 20. Uh-oh, Batrider walks by Ward. There it is. Epicenter set up for the Storm. And SRF gets evaporated.
Yeah, the dangers of the Batrider. Just trying to scout ahead and be like, hey guys, if there's anyone here lurking nearby, we can just get a kill and then go into this tier 2 feeling good, but nice defensive vision here.
I mean, Trent, in a game like this where there is really a lack of true carries, Brewmaster, 100 attack speed, and 15% Drunken Brawler chance.
Why do you do these things?
I mean,
Have you seen Split? It is a very good spell.
so you're thinking he gets a 100% 1500 split and cooldown? Is that what you're guessing?
I mean, I won't
'Cause
say
I'm not
100%. Sure. I've seen the attack speed every once in a while.
Me too.
It really depends, like, the items that are up at that time. If there's a Mjolnir on the DK, yeah, he's probably going to get the 1500 health on his Primal Split units.
Okay, I could feel that.
But the attack speed, of course, it is nice to be able to farm very fast when you're not in your ulti. But once you've hit 20, you're so close to 25. And once you hit 25, you're always in your ulti. So,
Yeah.
and don't even look at that other 25 talent. That's a no-go. We don't go there.
Never?
That could be 30% Drunken Brawler chance. I'm pretty sure you still take the other one every time.
Yeah.
Unless you're really into that full build, But alas, the Dark
Yeah.
Side now looking to keep the aggression up. Batrider alive this time, so he's hoping to find somebody. Brewmaster would have been a great one to grab, but talk about the defensive vision from the Radiant, the aggressive vision from the Dire certainly lacking. Nothing inside these big areas, and with this smoke through, they're not even getting wards down, at least not in the southern part. They will go with the Sentry and the Obs combo here, so clearly saying we are going for this tier 2 up top. And I'm sure they're also well aware from that as the Radiant side. And that's why you see Storm just pushing up there, but of course they didn't push out the mid, so this one should fall rather easily.
And down bottom, Lesh as well as Sand King putting some pressure on, so FTD handling the pressure quite well.
Yeah, but I think IG are making the correct moves, not sending anyone there yet. Like, guarantee this tower and then escape with Song. Like, accept that you're going to have some losses on the tower damage in the bottom lane, but don't give into it. Don't send one hero back and suddenly leave yourself vulnerable.
Well,
There's
and
no point.
FTD don't really want to commit to that tower. Sure, they've got creeps hitting it, but it's still relatively healthy. And with XXS in the front lines, he will siege it down, and it ends up being a favorable trade for Invictus Gaming. Only one outer tower remains for FTD, and it is that tier 2 in the top lane. IG back up, walk by the Rosh pit, but not going to go in there quite yet. 20 minutes, no Roshan action. Really, neither team very good at killing Rosh. I don't think we have a medallion out either.
No, not really any classic builders here, so no real option to accelerate your Storm maybe by giving the Aegis. That would be something that we'd love to get, but...
yeah, I guess they don't even really have a great Aegis carrier on IG. None of those heroes are...
Veno's pretty good, actually. Just because, like, you can play super aggressive for it and look for a really good Poison Nova before dying.
And then just come back to life.
Yeah,
I
it's not
guess
terrible. I mean...
It's not
obviously,
good,
The
but
other one's a
it's-
Dragon Knight, so anyone pretty much is better than a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, same with Batrider. I guess Undying, there's maybe a little bit of merit.
Only
He's
once you have the...
level 15, you get the death, and then you come back to life. That's
kind of fun.
That's cute. It's like the one time you don't feel so bad about that talent. There is a Bloodstone up on Storm, and he initiates right onto the Naga Siren.
Now that is well timed.
Follow up from James, and yeah, it's a free charge.
All right, baby. Bloodstone, Dota, Leshrac, and Storm Spirit, the race for more charges. And now look at this. Like, with all the towers the Dire have taken, still a 1K lead for the Radiant. Starting to show this 5-man Dota, like, suffering a little bit in terms of, like, the distribution of the net worth overall. Having a Sand King in this game is so important for the Radiant. If this is some other position 4 that can't split push quite as fast, the game looks much more difficult. But you can see the advantage he's taking. He looks like the offlaner. He's just behind the Batrider.
Almost. Batrider comes in just a little too late. Force staff, not too far away for him. Aggressive with the BKB, now going for a Dragon Lance so he can turn into a bit more of a sieger. Yeah, both sides just so comfortable giving each other this space.
It's all about the that one big team fight for FTD.
Dude, they've got double Bloodstone.
Yeah,
Lesh has
exactly.
one.
It's the race, man. It's the we just look for a giant fight with Brewmaster, kill 3 or 4 heroes. Both of these guys getting all those charges, it'd just be insane.
Very greedy, but you can get away with it. Some of these mid-game fights are just completely different. Rubik now caught by the lasso. Big-time follow-up. He does have teammates nearby on the high ground, but can't get there in time to turn anything around. And now IG move into the Rosh pit. Rubik down for 30 with no buyback. You do have a Sand King split pushing down bottom, so some nice pressure on that tier 2. Radiant seem a little unsure about how to react, but Rosh is like barely taking damage.
They have a ward
right
here.
now.
If Storm walks down, that would be a dangerous maneuver.
I mean, Rubik is going to respawn, though. This is not feeling like a safe Rosh play whatsoever. Storm actually zips in, checks the HP, makes the same conclusion that we do. Says, guys, let's just wait this out. Rubik's coming back. We can definitely intercept. Brewmaster goes in, uses the split. Rosh still at about half HP. Now James initiated on. Nice stun across on 2. Storm might be able to clean this up. They go 1-for-1 with the Sand King. Brewmaster creating some chaos outside of the pit. Rosh not even the focus anymore.
Yeah, Sand King's coming back now with the Blink and the FE2, so extremely important engagement. Again, Bloodstone charges, something we need to watch out for, so they don't want to give too much away here. But you're able to go in there as the Storm Spirit, again, because it's a 10th pick Storm. You know that there's not that much control. You knew Lasso was on cooldown. That means there's just Dragonite and maybe a net, but obviously that should not hit you.
Some great vision here for the Dire. They've got this Observer in the river.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about these kind of unique wards lately in terms of just like trying not to get dewarded with how many sentries people are placing. Like, look where that ward is and look where the 2 sentries from the Radiant are.
Right.
One up on the high ground for each side. Completely dodged.
Yeah. Definitely giving them an advantage there. Still a worthy buyback on the Sand King to back in this fight.
Dude, check out this epic battle at the Rosh pit. You seen this?
Oh shit.
Veno ward on Veno ward action. Oh, he's gonna suicide. He knew he was gonna lose. Couldn't handle it. That's an honorable death right there.
IG though, feeling like they need to linger around. They'll smoke up. DK ult up in another few seconds. Bat Rider already has his.
Yeah, no split for 35. This is the time to fight.
Storm zips in for creeps, but there's huge follow-up. Epicenter, it's a great bait. Leshrak's there with a stun. They'll find the first kill on Bat Rider, but Boca getting low, but FTD might lose beyond. He'll be the first to go down, and they're sustaining through it. Lesh has to suicide. IG have the Undying, and it's just an overwhelming amount of damage. Now Song of the Siren keeps the Storm locked in place.
They just need to shrine up.
Zipping forward onto Q, but that's not the target you want. Now the Dragon Tail connects onto Raji. He gets brought down. The buyback on Brew, not going to do much. His ultimate just now refreshing. IG, they really want this Rosh, but still feeling timid. Either way, a big fight for them.
Yeah, and now it kind of swings back the other way, because all these cooldowns have been used from the Dire side. So.
Wow. You know, that was all 5 down on FTD.
Yeah. With the buyback from the Brewmaster, too.
Wow.
The only reason it felt like they even had a chance in the second go was because of the Bloodstones, bringing back the respawns quicker from the Storm Spirit and the Leshrac, but that comes at a cost. 10 charges left for Leshrac and 11 for the Storm, as they continue to hold this area.
Yep. Honestly, Trent, that fight felt like the power of the Undying. He didn't even have the mech in that engagement, but healing so much from the Flesh Golem, the chaos from the zombies, and just having those soul rips to throw out onto his teammates.
Yep.
So much survivability. Of course, the BKB from DK is what allowed him to stand his ground against the Leshrac.
I think you have to give a ton of credit to SRF, too, on the Bat Rider. Like, he has a lot of pressure on him this game. He has to catch Storm, or they pretty much don't win these fights. And he got him. I mean, you know, maybe you can say that was like Storm's own mistake or something for just kind of showing like that in a pretty greedy spot.
It felt like a bait in the moment. There was an epicenter from the Sand King like the second the Storm Spirit got caught. I mean, they were kind of ready for that to happen, but it might not have been. It might have just been his team saying, dude, you got caught, and we were ready to react. It's, you know, I'm not sure where the credit goes on that one. But either way, you're right. The Bat Rider made the play that started off that whole chain of events. And now he gets a 4-staff. So some big itemization for IG following that game.
I like how they're smoking up again here, too, trying to find another fight. Even though everyone's ultis are back up, they're probably thinking that if they don't show on the map, FTD might think they smoked Rosh, and so they can kind of bait it like that. Dire scanning, trying to maybe find where the Storm Spirit's coming back. You Love Me has been lurking in that tree line for a long while up there. He's finally going to show on that wave.
Oh, zips in. DK looking for the Dragon Tail, but can't close the gap. Tough one to initiate on.
Okay. A failed smoke will cost them their bottom tower, as Sand King was pushing the entire time.
Bat Rider looking for the opening, though. Flying mid, sees the Lesh, but Pony Boy just a little too fast. Brown boots still 450 movement speed. James, like you were talking about this Sand King, continuing to put a lot of pressure around the map. Gets creeps up to the tier 3 as they lose that last outer tower, the tier 2 in the top lane.
So DK ult will be down, but we will have the lasso still available here in terms of like this potential finagling in towards the Rosh pit. Find another rune here. Pumpka actually takes it. Okay, thought maybe he was going to try and leave it for the Bat Rider once again, but Bat been very good on the rune so far. SRF more like S4. I think that was his like 3rd haste rune so far.
Yummy.
Some more itemization now. The full Hurricane Pike for Mr. Venomancer. And a Maelstrom out on the DK. BKB also completed on Brewmaster, who hits level 15. Not a big talent break there, but will take some magic resistance.
Yeah, if they don't hurry up in terms of like taking this Rosh from IG, there's going to be 3 10-second BKBs on the Radiant side. Which, although the Radiant are fairly magic-focused, so are the Dire. You know, Bat Rider, Venomancer, even Dragonite, quite a bit thrown up from him. But Storms will not be ready in time, so we'll just have 2 prepped here. And see how similar this engagement goes. They have the Dire Vision right where Storm is playing up top, so they know he's still moving up north, clearing that wave.
This time feels maybe a bit more safe, and they've just got extra damage to bring it out
Oh, but
down
the
more
smoke is
quickly.
coming. Brewmaster, preemptive BKB. Does he want to risk it?
It's going to be close. He jumps in. Roshan still pretty healthy. 2 of the BKBs get popped from IG. Veno does not have an opportunity to ult, but they get a lasso onto the Leshrac, and there it is. The Poison Nova comes. Rosh in the pit, finishes off the Tombstone, and actually gets a pash on the Brewmaster. Sets it up for the Naga Siren ultimate. Meteor Hammer follows, and Beyond gets smashed in the pit. It's a 2-0. IG take the fight, but Rosh still standing. There's the epicenter from James. Not ideal. Raji with the stolen Poison Nova, though. That could be something. The BKB on Storm coming in for the cleanup. Mop and Bucket gets 1, but Roshan falls to the Radiant. Snatched now by the DK. It will get finished off. This Poison Nova from Rubik doing a ton of work. Bat Rider on 1 HP. But Storm out of mana. Now XXS, he's back. Gets a Flame Break for some extra damage. Q inside of the pit. They won't be able to chase down the Storm. The Bloodstone from Lesh brings him back into the fray. A chaotic fight, but I think it's FTD that kind of get the advantage. They finished off Rosh, so they did get that gold boost.
Yeah, that was really nice. That zip in getting it. And just that first engagement, it used everything. Once the lasso's gone, Storm's game just feels so much better, especially with his BKB, because then there's nothing left to go through it. And you love me. He was damn close to getting the Aegis to boot, so a very good fight for FTD. And it means IG just don't have that power to start pushing forward the Aegis, feeling really comfortable. I think they just have to give up on it, honestly, and just start pushing without it.
Yeah, that Poison Nova from Raji was just an absolute game changer. But speak of the devil, old Raji's going to get punished. He gets caught by the lasso, and Rubik is going to suffer a fiery fate as he burns down in the river. On the other side, they force a BKB on the Brewmaster.
He actually ended up doing more damage than the Venomancer with his Poison Nova. In that previous fight, it was 37-61 for Rubik and 32-45 for the Veno.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Because he's got the null field, so he puts it defensive after Veno uses it, and then turns it aggressive the other way. I think he also just hit more heroes.
Yeah, that's the main factor. But that's okay. I like your next level.
The meta of the Rubik null field.
But they don't need Aegis. We're talking about how it's not the most amazing item for them anyway, so there is certainly some merit to just like, maybe we just go.
Definitely something to stand on here. Storm trying to clear out the creeps, but this tier 3 will go down. No glyph available. They do have a Song of the Siren, but no lasso. However, it's coming up in just a second here. Now DK gets jumped on. His ultimate soon to actually, there's a lot of duration. But anyway, they jump in onto the Lesh. He's getting low, and they've got the damage just about. He gets off the Yules in time. BKB will not be there. Instead, he suicides. Storm still zipping all around the back line, trying to do what he can, but they're just having trouble bringing down these tanky Dire heroes. Brew in the Panda split form, but unfortunately,
they're
his
almost
right
bringing
just
them
tickles.
in. They still have Song, too. Like, you cannot extend too far as the Radiant here.
Yeah, I mean, the Brewmaster maybe feels a little more safe, but that was a rocky hold. And they do hold on to the barracks, but man, that's tough.
Now, this looks so much better from IG already today, though. Like, this measured aggression. Like, before they couldn't find any aggression yesterday. It was just completely patient farming, getting some items. Now, they're not going too far. They're just getting to tier 3, being happy with that, try and close out some shrines, and Cheese a hell of a lot better for this lineup. So next Rosh very important.
They're also playing around the DK a lot better. I got nervous there that he was about to lose his ult, and they were really trying to force it, but he still had plenty of duration, and they're picking these fights when XXS can be that frontliner.
Yeah.
It seemed like that was one of the things they struggled with yesterday was, who do we play around? What are the timings? What if we don't have a driving force to tell us how to start sieging and take these objectives? Our default is to farm, and that's what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, that's definitely seemed to be the problem.
So I think you're right. This is a lot better.
They have it in 2 ways, too. Like, they have the direction of the Dragonite just ulting and hitting buildings, and they have the Lasso. Like, Lasso and Chrono are 2 of these spells that just feel like you can smoke up and feel good about the game.
Yeah, I think they've also done a really good job playing around Q this game. Uh-oh, mid lane, though. They're going to jump in onto the Dragon Knight. Is he going to be able to survive? He gets off the BKB. There's the mech. Q actually lets him reset, and now the real fight begins. Naga Siren with the ultimate, but there's a lot of BKBs still lasting through it. Now aggressive with the Poison Nova. It will connect on most of the Radiant, and I think this is IG's fight. They're starting to bring down the Lesh. He'll fall first, but now it's James with the epicenter on the back line. They survive through it. Meteor Hammer comes down onto Raji, and he goes down next. 2-0 as Beyond gets chased down. Bruce split up in just a couple of seconds. He'll likely survive through this. The Storm Spirit has made it back as James has already been brought down on the backside. Now the Primal Split will be deployed. Naga Siren taking some damage, but as just a solo Brewmaster, a tough kill to find. Rubik buys back, TP's in. Maybe they can bring down Q. No mech, but he does have a Soul Rip. Raji with the smear images and some support on the back line. XXS, he wants this Brewmaster. Nice blink, will give him some distance, but they can close the gap. Dragon Tail connects, and now this Panda, well, he gets put to sleep. Brutal stuff for FTD.
Yeah, if you actually look overall, there was more damage done by the Radiant team. But these tanky heroes, all of this damage mitigation they have on the side of IG as well is just... They don't have enough in the tank. Like, that fight started, and within, I'd say, the first, 6 seconds or so, Storm was just completely out of mana. Maybe even less than that. Like, it felt like he was just standing there like a creep, and he's died enough that he's down to the 14 Bloodstone charges at that point. And the mana regen just isn't quite there.
Oh, Storm up top. Looking for an initiation, but now he's completely out of mana. The Meteor Hammer connects. He will zip across the way, uses his BKB as a desperate attempt to survive, but SRF is a step ahead, and he will be forced to use the Bloodstone to kill himself and end up with 9 charges. That's not ideal.
No, and another good line here drawn from Aggressive, saying, let's get aggressive. And
let's go.
March down mid, because we have DK ult.
Yeah, the fight before that, though, it's like DK feels like the perfect target if you can actually kill him in that situation.
It's true. That
you catch him
worked.
before the BKB, wow, you've taken out their driver. They're not going to siege for the foreseeable future here while he's in the grave. If it goes the other way, though, if that Undying is just a little too close and gets off the Soul Rip and mech, it's a completely different equation, and that's where that tankiness and survivability comes in, because DK is one with all these regeneration-based items. 48 regen right now, not the hero that you're going to be able to finish off if you don't kill him with the burst. 2x on that Dragon Blood armor and regen. So
I am loving the way that Bobica is just like showcasing the versatility of songs. So in this game, he doesn't have a real song partner. You know, this is not Song into Static Storm, Song into Ice Path Macropyre, not the kind of game for Naga. This is a game where he's using it for either defensive purposes, we can all retreat, or he's using it to isolate this BKB hero. The Leshrac got destroyed because they're able to 5v1 him.
Well, initiation on the Brewmaster does have BKB and split. James goes in hard, and it's a big epicenter. A lot of damage onto Baboka, and they lock him down. Q falls in tandem as they both buy back. James onto the side, he takes a lot of return damage, and all of a sudden it's a 5v3 now, it was 5v4 to 5v3. Brewmaster also getting clicked down, and it is a complete slaughter, a situation where IG used the aggressive buybacks much to their favor. It forces the buybacks out of the Radiant, and Rubik will be stuck in the grave now. His buyback's still on cooldown. A tough hold to make. Storm trying to clear out the creeps.
Yeah, with Leshrac, they get it done, and that will slow down the melee rack siege here, because that was the last wave.
Still the DK, perfect hero to have in this kind of scenario. A little bit of time left on that ulti as the glyph comes.
Storm needs to go for that next wave, and he will now. Oh, he didn't get it. He mistimed it there, but
They might still back up anyway, though.
Yeah, DK ult running down, so no real worries.
Still a gain for IG when it's all said and done. They get the barracks. They use some buybacks, but force some buybacks of their own. Get DK one step closer to that Heart of Tarask, and they'll even clear out some enemy Ancients on their way home. Let's take a look. How's Radiant doing, Trent? Item-wise, have we seen any progression here? Ugh, some scary-looking Bloodstone charges. 4 on the Lesh and 11 on the Storm. Not quite as bad, but not where you want to be at this stage. However, he does have an Orchid.
Yeah, Storm got that at least before his last death up top, but yeah. And Dire side, they should be the ones to first know about Rosh. You can just keep dropping the Plague Wards inside, and it is going to be a relatively early one, 1 minute away now. And if they were to get Cheese on the Radiant side, I mean, that obviously gives them a better chance. Still going to be hard to win the fight, but Storm Spirit, 2 lives essentially, maybe Aegis and Cheese, 3 lives basically.
Aegis Cheese with Storm and Lesh on your team, it's pretty darn good. It is basically just like giving you 2 additional buybacks, except you're right there. I think that gives FTD a pretty good chance, to be honest. I think if IG get this Rosh, I don't know how FTD hold.
XXS is just excessively farmed.
Yeah, he's kind of just taunting them at this point. He's like, look, I'm going to farm wherever I want. You guys can see me. That's cool. If you want to fight, let's do it. I'm ready to party.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Now look at the positioning of his team. They know. He's ready. He's got that Hood of Defiance.
They're just holding the ulti, too. Still.
And now, the Blasto, the Storm zips in, but it's looking good for IG. Brew barely gets off the split. Q still also holding on to a little bit of life. They reset again with the Naga Siren, and they just don't have the resources. Storm not able to do what he wants, and his teammates are just getting cleaned up. The Brewmaster able to get away. Nope, not going to get back to Panda form, and it's just a slaughter. That was a ridiculously chaotic fight, Trent. I feel like that was just every AoE spell at once going off, and then FTD just kind of flopped over.
Yeah, they just the bog, man. You know, you can't fight into it.
That really was the bog.
It's there.
That would have been the perfect way to salvage that play-by-play. It's the bog! Because that's really what it felt like. I mean, it was just an overwhelming amount of damage. Veno did 3,800. The DK alone did 3,800. He popped the Mjolnir buff on himself.
Yeah.
There's just no killing this Dragon Knight.
The first 10 seconds, he's just standing there with his BKB on, just right-clicking in melee form.
Like, it looked like IG weren't even sure if they needed to commit to the fight. Like, hey, maybe we can just pick off this Brewmaster and then walk into Rosh. And then FTD just kept throwing more and more bodies at it, and IG said, well, if they're going to commit, boys, then we're in. And then once Veno got off a big Poison Nova, it's just over. There's no salvaging that, especially now that the BKBs are down pretty low. Storm's down to 5 seconds, Lesh down to 7 seconds, and even the Brewmaster, he's down to 5 seconds. So that's where the Poison Nova, yeah, you're mitigating a little bit of that, but still 18 seconds. That's 13 seconds of big-time poison damage. Also Heart up on DK, so
yeah, BKB
forget about
that too. Oh, even a Yule's now for the Naga. This is a very tough game. So she could have bought her Spirit Vessel, but just buys a full Yule's instead.
Well, they definitely could kill Rosh. I guess IG not all in agreement about the strat, and DK will just kind of walk out of the pit. His ultimate just now refreshing. So what's the play for FTD? I mean, do you go for the YOLO smoke at this point? 13K net worth, 2 lanes of barracks. I mean, you're really looking for that desperation play. It will be IG that are the aggressors, though, so they won't even give them the opportunity. James gets caught, as does the Leshrac with the lasso. Storm jumps into the back line, and this time he gets a pretty good catch. He kills the Naga Siren. Buyback from the Leshrac as he loses his 2 supports. The Brood does get off the split, but I don't know if it's going to keep him alive. The right clicks are really hurting, and the Brewlings are just made of paper at this point. 3 down, no buyback. It's a 4v2, and I think this might be the beginning of the end. Storm jumps out, looks to catch the Bat Rider, but again, they've got the survivability. Guardian Greaves, Soul Rip. Storm just can't find a kill. BKB used by the Lesh as IG repel and push him back. The right clicks from the DK just hurt too much.
Yeah, it just feels like it's too much to repel at this point. It just, you know, they understood the only way they could win this game as the Radiant was to build these fight items, like get Bloodstones, try and win a bunch of fights, and try and just, like, take over the game at that point. But IG got that early ball rolling. They took advantage of the draft that they had. They played very well in the most important fights of the game early on. Well, maybe they can get a nice little Bloodstone charge added back here, but Guardian Aura helping out here.
And just afraid to commit into it. I mean, I think Storm could have gotten that kill, but at what cost? If he throws his life away for that, certainly not worth. 12 Bloodstone charges and a Bloodthorn. Feeling very grim for FTD in this first game.
Just impressive stuff from IG overall, honestly. Looking pretty good. I think...
Look at this. DK now sells his hood, just goes straight for the MKB. So transitioning from really beefy core, now that he's got the heart, going back for more damage-based items.
I really liked the itemization early on, too. Just very good recognition from IG to go for the double hood on the DK as well as the Veno. It really slowed down the Brewmaster early on, too. Just like, he's running the fights, trying to like create these moments, but every fight that he tries to take with them, they don't have any sort of damage to like take advantage of any of these stuns. So like if Epicenter or just like Brewmaster's initial kind of like burst and follow up into this fight isn't enough to kill someone, no one's following up at all. You know, it's just there's some magic damage from the Leshrac and magic damage from Storm.
Well, here's the initiation. Bat Rider jumped on by Storm and might have enough. The Soul Burn pops, but on the other side, XXS is destroying his supports. Bat Rider for Raji. And Storm also died for it. Now the buyback on Bat Rider. DK with the double damage. Doing a lot of zoning as Aggressive showing off that Eye of Scotty. My God. They're just over-farmed at this point, Trent. That was a 1 for 3.
Yeah.
And now the GG gets called. Lesh will be able to use the BKB, but Lasso is there, and the throne will get popped. Very nice game for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, truly. I like the fact that Storm ends godlike because he kept denying himself. He never got a streak.
That's actually pretty good.
It's the Pyrrhic victory for him there. So, man, IG turning up the 4th seed, defeating the 1 seed here in our first match of our best of 3.
Dare I say, one of the best DK performances we've seen in a while. You know, the Super Major in China, we were joking about how DK was kind of like the cursed hero. A lot of teams were picking him with a lot of priority, but not getting a lot of results. His win rate was pretty bad after a lot of games. This was perfect. 13, 1, and 12. Itemizes to survive, switches into that right clicker, does big-time damage. A driving force for the whole team.
They had 2 heroes that are very team-based in terms of coordination and execution, the Dragon Knight and the Bat Rider.
Yeah.
And they got them both to work.
It's another game where you look at the kill spread. You know, it felt like FTD were getting kills up on the board. The Undying, DK, and Venomancer all only died 1 time. It was the Bat Rider that died 8 times and the Naga Siren that died 7 times. So there are 18 kills total, and 15 of them were on 2 heroes. It's actually pretty good. You know, that Bat Rider, maybe he died too much. I say he absorbed that's space creation right there. He absorbed a lot of ganks.
You're dying after Lasso maybe, but Bobica also, he's kind of a giant target on his back. Is like, okay, we have to kill the Naga, because if we don't kill the Naga, then we can't finish off certain heroes. They're just going to song and stuff, so...
But it worked out great. It opened up that space for the Venomancer to get stupidly farmed. That's exactly how you want to execute with the Venomancer too. Great balance of fighting and farming, but always making sure that GPM is a priority. And
look at that damage too.
With just insane items and insane damage done. 34K.
Nice little dual core action. Both teams kind of had that dual core, right? Where like it was largely the DK and the Veno, and on the other side it was largely the Storm Spirit and the Leshrac, and then everything else is kind of well spread amongst the mostly the next 2, and then there's just 2 5s doing their thing. But
yep. All right. Well, now that we're into the playoffs, it's all best of 3s. So we're done with best of 1 Dota, at least for today and tomorrow. The double limb bracket will continue. We're going to have a quick break, and then we're going to come back for Game 2, IG versus FTD.